network, right? And this guy showed up one time at the networking group, and he had this funny hat on, and it lit up, and it even moved and sang, and he did this presentation about how he helps the children in hospitals. And then I find out his name is Crazy Ray, and his shirt says Crazy Ray, his phone number says Crazy Ray, so I don't even know his last name, but this is Crazy Ray from Kids of Love, so please welcome Crazy Ray.
Thank you very much. I'm a little bit shy, so I want you to understand that as I do this, I'm not sure I do it right. Now, she said the hat I had that time was because it was Christmas, and I have only 6 dancing hats for the holiday season. But then for this type of year, I have hats like this that light up and go around so that it brings, kind of, the sun is not doing a good job on it. It brings attention to you. Because when you go to the hospital and you work with children, the thing that I tell people is you need to make them smile and make them happy. And you don't realize, I had 6 children, or I should say I have 6 children and a ton of grandkids and all, but we're all healthy. I have no prescriptions, no ailments. Like when you talk about health, I was going to say, you know what? People don't like when I post healthy is only the slowest possible way of dying. And I say that because you need to be healthy. You need to exercise every day. You need to watch what you eat. You need to go forward. We have so many children. Last week I gave out 6,000 boxes of food. And people say, well, one day when it was teeming rain, at first I was the only one there with all these pallets of boxes. And I said, oh my God. But then a gentleman from Hunt Elementary, the head custodian, came up to help me out because he heard that he was bad. Then some of the kids from Kids of Love came up. They're in college now and all. And when they came, plus a wonderful Marine recruit, I had nothing to do but just relax. But why I'm here is I work with Rotary. I'm a Kiwanian. Service before self. I know your motto. I've done it with my main club that I do things with in South Florida is the Coral Springs, because Coral Springs adopted one of our main causes, childhood cancer, about 10 years ago. And let me tell you how this whole thing started. Who here knows the Ann Stork Center?
Yes, I've heard of it.
You've heard of it. 380 plus employees. It's 96 acres. If you don't know how large that is, it's huge. Bigger than Church by the Glades and all these places. The Ann Stork Center is a center that started 62 years ago for mentally aphasic and handicapped individuals. I am very proud to say I come from the family that started it. And we didn't start it. Anna Stork and Dorothea Stork were nurses. And we didn't start it because it was something that was going to bring recognition to us or anything. It was started by them because they knew that they needed to be a place for these families, these people. Having children, my youngest, and we were always involved in everything, like Boys and Girls Club, the board, and other organizations. As having children, you raise them up to know that it's not about themselves, it's about what they do for others that counts the most. When they were growing up and there was the Michael Jordan sneakers and all, I had to explain to them that I will not buy you those. I'll buy you good New Balance shoes or whatever, good athletic shoes you want for say $100. But we're not going to spend $600 because you see the kids in the schools that have those shoes, they don't even have food on the table. They don't even have other things. They don't have their laptop at all. So I used to say to them, one pair of shoes for you and one pair or 2 pairs for other kids. And that's how we're going to spend the money. Well, as you raise children that way and you make them understand, I am very proud to say that my youngest of 6, because we were chairs for Relay for Life for Coral Springs and Weston and so on, my wife and I, he was in 3rd grade. He came home and he said, I want to start a club for kids with cancer and have a team for Relay for Life. Well, the principal said, well, he can't do that because he's in 3rd grade. You know, you have to be in 4th or 5th grade to do that. Well, I always taught them to be very independent and so on. So Frank Till was the superintendent of schools at that time. And Frank and his wife were friends of ours. So my son went on the computer in the office room of the house and he called Mrs. Till. And he said, Mrs. Till, I want to start this team and club, but I'm told I'm not allowed to by the principal. Well, Frank called me back that night because there's no rule like that. Well, the principal didn't speak to us after that because he started the club. It's called Kids of Love. And in the first 5 years, they raised more money for the cancer camp, which was originally called Rock Camp. Reach out to cancer kids. $52,000. These are children. Well, when he was in middle school, there was a rude awakening. American Cancer said, we're dropping that camp. It's not profitable for us. This is 150 kids from South Florida, 150 kids from Northern Florida going to camp. If you don't know what Boogie Creek Camp is, started by Paul Newman and General Schwarzkopf, it's phenomenal. You take a trip there, when you see whether it be cancer kids, sickle cell anemia kids, they get a chance to live life for a week like any normal kid. There's even a hospital on the base, or on the camp. And doctors donate their time to be there and so on for the kids. So he started this. And when this happened in middle school, he said, what are we going to do? And I said, well, family knows how to start a foundation. We'll start a foundation and we'll make it be a viable thing to keep going. So Kids of Love was born 10 years ago, and what happened is it's grown. We're in 5 states. We operate to do things at the hospitals in South Florida at the 2 Sailor hospitals, the one in Coral Springs and one downtown, and Joe DiMaggio. We go around with toy carts and healthy snack carts twice a month to give out to all kids, not just cancer kids or kids with major disabilities, but all kids. Because what's wrong, and you have to understand this, don't get me, don't take this personally or something, but most of the organizations want to gather toys and other stuff at Christmas, Hanukkah time. And so at December, we do nothing because we don't want to step on their toes. But from January to November, people aren't at the hospitals. So we're there and we do this because it's important to keep making these kids have a smile on their face, okay? Because they, kids don't just get sick in December, and they just don't come down with a major problem from Thanksgiving to New Year's. It's all year long. And a lot of times you have a boy like little Tommy who spent the last 9 months in the hospitals. Here at Sailor, up in New York City, he just come home. And this little boy is going to turn 9 on September 29th. When he was 6 years old, they had to remove a 6.2-pound tumor from him. Go buy chicken or whatever, or ground beef or whatever, and buy 6 pounds. That's how big it is. This was taken out of a 6-year-old. Wow. He has suffered with different types of cancer. Why he was up at Sloan Kettering is they were doing reconstructive surgery of his rectum and other things. He's now home. Hopefully everything is going to be good. It's in remission for the 3rd time, but you never know. I've buried more kids than I want to know in the past decade, and people say, why do we do it? You must have cancer in the family. You don't. I mean, I have mental illness, but that's only because I haven't learned to grow up, and that's okay because people who don't like my mental illness, the heck with it, but that's all right. So, why I'm here? I love what you guys do, and as far as your shoe drive, I have all kinds of ideas that I'm going to play in my head to help you get a lot of more shoes. Collaboration is the biggest thing that the organizations don't do. What I would like to see, Bill, is I would like to see once every quarter a function that takes the Rotary, the Kiwanis, the Lions, and put them together. Or whatever groups. I mean, I'm only naming a few, but put them together. Meet the people. Find out, how come you're in Rotary? You know, there's different reasons. Because the collaboration is the key to success, whether it be business or be with charities or what. Too often people think it's about us, it's about us. No, it's about the cause, it's about embracing the society and the people that need. Like, people are asking me lately, why are you spending so much time giving out all this food? Well, it's need. You know, I don't need the food, and I won't lie. I have neighbors who say, did you see the price of tuna this month? Or this week? And I go, how's that car that you just bought for, you know, $50,000, $60,000? You're worrying about an extra $1 a pound? I mean, don't talk to me about that. There are people, as a woman I adopted, she has 7 children, no job. And, oh, I don't need food, I don't need food. You gotta see these kids when I bring boxes of food to her in Fort Lauderdale. Because they're dying for it. Plus, bringing them little surprises. You know, I tell people the nicest thing in life is just making someone smile, especially little children. I have my cars filled with toys and gimmicks and things, and people say, why? Well, just right now the pandemic has caused a major problem with people. And people don't realize that if you're going to go and do something, this is another little trick of mine. You go and you buy something that's going to attract people. So this thing has like 11 different vases, and it also, oh, let me get to the one I like. It blinks. So you wear it, and though it's not an N95, you know, N95, it brings people like, oh my God, where'd you get it? $15 from Blinky company. And people say, well, how did you find it? Well, duh, Google. You know, you Google it and you find all kinds of stuff. And I love the idea of having more toys than children. Because by having more toys, I'm able to make them like, oh, how does that work? How does that go? Now, in your organization, in every charity right now, or every organization, we're running into major problems. Boys and Girls Club hasn't had a function to raise money, Broward County, in months. Our annual dinner, where we raised approximately $3 million, was canceled in April. So we don't know how we're going to get, you know, the money we need, you know. And that's a problem, because when you say to people, what I need you to do is reach into your wallet and give me money, they're nervous because they're not sure how tomorrow's going to be for them. So I tell them, maybe if you don't give me the money, I may have to do something drastic. You know, and by doing something drastic, they say, were you in California last week? Anyway, as Carolyn will tell you, I have constantly little games because I gotta make you laugh. You want a good joke? This goes back to one of the famous vaudeville persons. He goes into the sperm bank to donate. He's overage, he's over 65. They say, are you sure, Mr. Burns? You know, can you do this? So, yeah. So they put him in a room, give him a vial, and they give him some magazines. An hour later, he comes out, he's sweating like crazy. They say, are you all right, Mr. Burns? He says, I don't know. I ran it under hot water. I ran it under cold water. I kept banging it against the sink. How do you get the top off this vial? George Burns, remember with his little cigar, he would say these things. So you got to make people laugh, but the most important thing about right now is realize that we're not spreading enough kindness and love. Because, you know, when we have a meal, a lot of us say grace before the meal, before we eat the food. Grace is not a prayer that we say before a meal. Grace is the way we need to live life. We need to have grace under pressure, and we need to follow through with whether it's better to do than it is to receive. Because you'll find it'll work. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Since you guys didn't know the Ann Stork Center, and we have, honestly, all those, see, it goes into all different functions. All those different setups. What I normally do, and Carolyn has seen this, I go into a thing, and I say to them, I'm going to give you, this is a brand new $100 bills from the bank. I don't print them up. But a brand new $100 bill, if you can tell me, what does this gold color stand for?
Gold color.
Okay. Or, do you know what this month is? Just don't tell me September, because I learned that one too. I have a calendar. Don't know? Bill? You're the president, you're supposed to know all.
I know what month it is for Rotary.
All right. Purple is the color of all cancers. Childhood cancer is this month. September is National Childhood Cancer Month. And gold is the color of childhood cancer. I mean, everybody does pink. Don't get me wrong, ladies, but breast cancer is 96% fixable or solvable and so on. You know, we're being able to help women. So that means 1 out of 25 may die. With childhood cancer, 1 out of every 5 children diagnosed will pass.
Wow.
Besides that, if they live, I have a young lady just turned 17. We had a big birthday parade in Coral Springs for her. When she was in elementary school, she was vibrant, she was exciting, she could do all kinds of stuff. But having brain cancer and all the treatments that went to her, today if you met her, it's like deer in the headlight. You talk to her, she doesn't respond. The mother is worried, and I mean, I can't tell her there's nothing that's going to make her better now, but this is going to be her whole life. The children that do survive, more than half of them, one, sterile, won't have children at all, have hearing and eye loss, plus they will not have a full life. They're going to probably pass before they're 50. And besides that, they also will have all kinds of other ailments. So all I can tell you is, I didn't tell you the rest of the story. This young man who had more scholarships, he won the Obama Award 2 years in a row. The President's Award for children who do things in communities. So my son Randall won that, and after he won that, he was given all kinds of scholarships from colleges and this and that. And in high school, he came to us after our Christmas go-away to visit the grandparents and all, and he said, I'm not going to go to college. I said, what? He says, I'm going to join the Marines. And right now he's serving us in the Marines in Japan. He's moved ahead phenomenally. He's gotten promotions that normally he's in his 3rd year, wouldn't happen until your 4th or 5th year. If you've been in the military, you know that a lot of that is kind of like set up to, you know, I was in the Vietnam era, you know, if you're not going to be so many years, you're not going to get this promotion, that promotion. Anyway, we're very proud, but we also know that there's a cause. And your cause is my cause. My cause has got to be your cause. And you have to think about that. So since no one knew, Bill, I'm going to give you a brand new $100 bill only because you're the president of the club. But this is not the one I first showed you. This is one from Jamaica, and it's worth 70 cents. So now don't go and spend it all in one place.
Frame it.
Anyway, I have brochures to give you if you want to see what we do and where we are. I'll give you my business cards. I have bracelets for you to wear for childhood cancer awareness. The thing that I want you to realize is, if you need something, as Carolyn said, she reached out to me, you can always reach out to me. I don't know when it's for. I've been to Haiti several times. It's a very, very sad country. But I tell people, when you reach out to me, I will do my best to get you anything you need. Now, on the card, there's different numbers, and my cell number is how you want to contact me. Because if you don't contact me on the cell and you call the office, the chances of me giving you a response is just about nil, because I don't check that machine too often. And people say, why not? I don't know. Maybe it's bad habits.
But you're a guy.
Anyway, any questions?
Where are the Sailor hospitals? I'm not familiar with
The
them.
Sailor hospitals? The Sailor organization, Norrie and Sailor Berkeley's, took the Chris Everett Hospital downtown and renamed it with a little donation of $25 million.
Oh, wow.
Okay? They also decided to open up a children's hospital, a part of the Broward Health in Coral Springs, which is much smaller. We only have 12 rooms in that section, which is going to be expanded. But the thing is that's important is they are, Norrie and Sailor is very big on community things. If you check them out, the family comes from Massachusetts, they made tons of money in construction, and now they do all this stuff. It's kind of like, if you know Miami Children's, which is now Nicholas. Well, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Jack Nicholas and talking to him about what we could do at the hospital and all that, and he jumped all over it. The thing that I have to say is, he gave $35 million to take Miami Children's, and I have a long relationship with the hospital, to rename it. You know, Jack Nicholas. Plus he's expanding. He's got the one with Dan Marino in Broward, the one in West Palm. I don't fault anybody with money who has a commitment to do things, because it's good. Just so you know, I'm doing a very sneaky thing, because Mackenzie became the richest woman in the world after her divorce and the pandemic, because now she's worth over $50 billion, and she wants to give most of it away. So I have luckily started a correspondence with her, and it's not about Kids of Love or the Ann Stork Center. It's about who I might be able to introduce her to where her heart feels more passionate about it. Because, fine, you want to do that? I will be your foot on the street or whatever. And someone said, what do you think you could get? I said, you don't know. $100 million when you have $50 billion is nothing. You know, so if she gives it out to different groups, it's nothing. But like with this Ann Stork Center, most people don't realize that we have 480 plus employees.
Wow.
This is not, this is not a small organization. We are now working on the idea for next year to make it be the outstanding not-for-profit to work for. You know how they do the best places to work? The people are very happy there. They give out their heart working. If you want to get a lot of gratification, get a hold of me and I'll schedule an appointment for you to go. When you see these people in the mobilized wheelchairs and this and that, and they have to be fed through a tube, and so many things that, you know, and they're young, a lot of them. This is their life. You know, you got to think about how lucky you are. Any questions? Where did I get the name? Okay. I told you, people say, why do you call yourself Crazy Red? 1980, IBM asked me to be the keynote speaker in St. Louis. Okay? Well, I was a rebel at IBM, and I said, you know what? I got to shock these people. They don't understand what's going on. Now, in January 8th, 1980, IBM had no plans for a PC. DEC, the chairman of the board of DEC, Digital Equipment Corporation, said, those are jokes. Those are toys, okay? Burroughs wasn't going to do it. Well, when I got to do my thing in St. Louis, it was freezing cold. And I was a runner, an avid runner back then. So I'm down by the arches, by the convention center, running by the river, and I go, oh my God, I got to shock these people. Just like this cold is going through me coming from Florida. So I changed my speech and I said, the future is microcomputers. And they called me effing Crazy Ray. Because they said, what is this guy, you know? And if you remember any of the old tabloids, like Computer World and so on, they wrote, Ray Slapikis, that's my last name, IBM thinks is effing Crazy Ray. So I said, that's great. I'm gonna keep that name. I like that. Because what I'm saying is not so crazy in my mind. This is gonna happen. So in 1982, I was running around the country. I left IBM, I had my own business, and I was telling people, send me an email. What? An email. You can send me an email to crazyray@crazyray.com. Oh, no. That's not gonna work. You gotta have like AOL at the end. I said, no, I bought the URL. A URL? What's a URL? It was all bizarre. And I even had, because I did a lot of stuff with AT&T. AT&T was coming into the computer world. Being on an advisory software panel for Bob Allen, the chairman of the board, for my birthday he gave me an 800 Crazy Ray number. So you could call up years ago, and you can still do it, but people don't use the directory anymore. You dial 1-800-555-1212, and the computer says, say the name of the listing you want. You say Crazy Ray, and you get my toll-free number. Think of how wonderful that was for business. Because I had people, except for the government, because the government didn't have phones that had the Z key on the 9, so people would say, oh, that must have to be the 0. And they were calling a company in Massachusetts and not me. But this is what you gotta do in life. Brand yourself, get yourself out there. I don't see enough of my Rotarian friends wearing their Rotary buttons or Rotary shirts out there in the market. Because whether it be Ann Stork, Rotary, like, what's a Kiwanian? You know, oh, you guys work at the zoo, you're in the Lions Club. This is what people think. So as organizations, if we collaborate to each other, we need to get out there and wear our signs. Or wear something. I have a thing that I wear. People say, why do you wear it? It says smile. And I just believe in it. A smile is a gift. It's a gift that you give someone when you do it, and it's from your heart. And watch when you smile at little kids. They'll shy away first, and then they're going to giggle or something, and they're going to smile back. The other thing, as my dad taught me, he worked for Prudential and always had the suit on, but his pockets were bulging because he always had little candies and toys in his pockets. Because whenever he saw a kid, he would give them a piece of candy or some little trinket, whether it be a wooden soldier or something. And I learned from that and from other relatives that this was a way of life. Because when you give something to someone, they have to understand. Now I have a little surprise for you guys. Do you guys collect business cards? You're going to do a drawing, right? Okay, we'll use your card. What's the name? This is, I buy cases of 5 Reason wine. Now this one pairs well with procrastination. So I'm giving this away so when you think of your bags of shoes and you don't want to carry boxes or other things, you drink this wine. Because it will help you with procrastination. You can, when you draw that and give that to one of the members.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Ray.